Black Girl Magic. You can do this. Chapter 1. Island Beginnings. The Caribbean sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden hue over the island of Barbados. In a small, weather-beaten house nestled near the coastline, Wendy's story began. Her early years on the island were not just a prelude to her extraordinary journey, but a crucible that forged her spirit and talent. Wendy's father, Joseph, was a fisherman with hands weathered by the sea and a heart full of stories. He would return home with tales of the ocean's mysteries, speaking of the waters as if they were an old friend. Her mother, Elaine, was the island's most beloved schoolteacher, her wisdom stretching far beyond the confines of textbooks. She filled Wendy's imagination with stories of their ancestors, heroes, and heroines who defied odds, weaving a narrative that taught Wendy the power of resilience. Their home was modest, but their lives were rich with culture and community. Wendy's earliest memories were laced with the sounds of calypso music, the scent of salt in the air, and the rhythmic patter of rain on the tin roof. Each element of her childhood was a piece of a puzzle that, when put together, depicted a life of vibrant colors, deep emotions, and the constant beat of the island's heart. However, life in Barbados wasn't without its challenges. The family often struggled to make ends meet, with Joseph's earnings from fishing fluctuating with the seasons, and Elaine's teacher's salary barely covering the necessities. These hardships, though, were tempered by the community's unyielding support and the family's unwavering love for each other. Wendy found solace in music. It was her escape, her companion during times of joy and sorrow. She learned to play the guitar on an old string-worn instrument her father had bartered for at the local market. Night after night, she would sit under the starlit sky, strumming melodies that echoed the island's soul. As she grew, so did her aspirations. Wendy's voice, a unique blend of power and tenderness, became known throughout the island. She sang at local gatherings, her songs reflecting the stories and rhythms of her homeland. Yet, as her reputation grew, so did a restless longing, a yearning for a stage bigger than her beloved island could provide. Wendy's journey to greatness was fraught with moments of doubt and uncertainty. The path from Barbados to the global stage was uncharted, especially for a young black girl with big dreams but limited resources. She knew the odds were stacked against her, but Wendy was no stranger to overcoming adversity. Her parents had instilled in her a belief that she could achieve anything she set her heart on, as long as she stayed true to herself and worked tirelessly. In her late teens, a chance encounter with a music producer from the UK set the wheels of fate in motion. He was vacationing on the island and happened to hear Wendy sing at a local festival. Mesmerized by her talent, he offered her an opportunity that would change her life forever. A chance to record in the UK. It was a decision that carried the weight of her dreams and the hopes of her family and community. Leaving Barbados was a heart-wrenching moment. The island, with its beaches, its people, and its rhythms, was a part of her. As Wendy boarded the plane, she carried with her the magic of her homeland, a magic that would soon captivate the world. This was just the beginning of Wendy's ascent. From the sunny shores of Barbados to the bustling streets of the UK, and eventually to the glamorous world of the US music scene, her journey was a testament to the power of dreams and the unyielding spirit of determination. Wendy was more than just a musician. She was a symbol of hope, a beacon of black girl magic, destined to shine on the world stage. Chapter 2. Melodies of the Caribbean. The sun had just begun to peek over the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, as Wendy, a young girl with dreams larger than the ocean surrounding her island, awoke to the sounds that would shape her destiny. The island of Barbados, with its rhythmic waves and whispering winds, was alive with music, a symphony of nature that danced with the melodies of its people. From the earliest days of her childhood, music was an omnipresent force in Wendy's life. It flowed through the streets like a life-giving river, pulsing with the beats of calypso, reggae, and soca. Her home, a humble abode nestled in the heart of her close-knit community, was often filled with the sound of her father's singing. Joseph, with his deep melodic voice, would sing folk songs passed down through generations, each note a thread connecting Wendy to her heritage. Wendy's mother, Elaine, played the piano, an old, weathered instrument that sat in the corner of their small living room. The piano, though out of tune, was a treasure chest of stories. Elaine would play traditional Bajan melodies, her fingers coaxing out tunes that spoke of love, struggle, and the enduring spirit of their people. These musical sessions were more than mere entertainment. They were lessons about life, resilience, and the power of art to express the inexpressible. The island itself was Wendy's greatest teacher. The rustling of the palm leaves, the rhythm of the waves crashing against the shore, and the chorus of the local birds created a natural harmony that resonated within her. Wendy would spend hours on the beach, her feet buried in the sand, her mind absorbing the island's music, letting it fuse with her soul. But it wasn't just the sounds of nature that nurtured her musical spirit. It was also the vibrant culture of Barbados. Every festival, every parade, and every community gathering was a carnival of sound and color. The island's musicians were not just performers. They were storytellers, custodians of a rich cultural legacy that they imparted through their songs. Wendy was captivated by their ability to weave tales with their tunes, to stir emotions with their voices, and to unite people with their rhythms. As Wendy grew, her fascination with music evolved into a passion. She found herself drawn to the local church choir, where she learned the discipline of music, the importance of harmony, and the power of a shared song. Her voice, initially just another in the chorus, began to stand out. It had a quality that was both haunting and uplifting, a reflection of the island's spirit and her own inner fire. The turning point came when Wendy discovered an old guitar in a small, dusty shop in Bridgetown. It was a worn instrument with scratches marking its surface, but to Wendy, it was a treasure waiting to unlock new realms of creativity. With money saved from odd jobs, she bought the guitar, a decision that would steer her life in a direction she had only dared to dream. Night after night, under the starry Caribbean sky, Wendy taught herself to play. The guitar became her voice, an extension of her being. She began to compose her own songs, pieces that were a fusion of the sound she had grown up with and the feelings that stirred within her. Her music was a tapestry of her experiences, her dreams, and the legacy of her island. As Wendy's skills grew, so did her local fame. She started performing at local events, her performances drawing crowds who were captivated by her unique sound. She sang of the island's beauty, the challenges of her people, and the dreams that stretched beyond the Barbadian shores. Yet, amidst the growing acclaim, there was a sense of restlessness in Wendy. The island, as much as it had given her, was also a boundary to her aspirations. She knew that her music, like the waves of the ocean, was meant to travel far and wide. It was a realization that both excited and terrified her. To leave the comfort of her home, to venture into the unknown, was a daunting prospect. But Wendy, armed with her guitar and the melodies of the Caribbean in her heart, was ready to embrace her destiny. The end of this chapter was not just the close of a segment of Wendy's life. It was the beginning of an epic journey, a journey that would take her from the familiar shores of Barbados to the grand stages of the world, where her music would not only reflect her roots, but also resonate with the hearts of millions. Chapter 3. First Song. The sun was setting over Barbados, casting a kaleidoscope of colors across the sky, as Wendy, sitting under the shade of an old almond tree, strummed her guitar. It was a moment of solitude, a rare escape from the bustling life of her small but lively community. In this tranquil setting, the seeds of Wendy's first song were about to sprout, a composition that would mark the beginning of her extraordinary journey. The guitar, an extension of her soul, resonated with the rhythmic sounds of the island. Each note she played seemed to capture a fragment of her life, the laughter, the tears, the dreams, and the unspoken hopes. It was more than just music. It was a story waiting to be told. That evening, as the sky transitioned from fiery oranges to soothing purples, Wendy found herself reflecting on her journey so far. The struggles of her family, the resilience of her community, and the unyielding spirit of her island, all these elements converged, igniting a creative spark within her. She began to compose, her fingers moving deftly over the strings, her voice a soft murmur that gradually grew in confidence. The song, initially a wordless melody, slowly found its voice. Wendy sang about the fishermen returning from the sea, their boats laden with the day's catch. She sang about the children playing in the streets, their laughter echoing through the alleyways. She sang about the elders, their faces creased with the wisdom of years, their stories a bridge to the past. As she delved deeper into her song, the environment around her seemed to respond. The leaves of the almond tree rustled in the gentle breeze, as if swaying to her tune. The distant sound of the ocean provided a rhythmic backdrop, its waves crashing in harmony with her chorus. Even the fading light seemed to linger, as if the day itself was captivated by her melody. Wendy's song was a tribute to her island, a love letter to its beauty and its challenges. Each verse was a reflection of her experiences, a narrative woven from the fabric of her life. The chorus, A catchy and uplifting tune was a call to hope, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, the spirit of Barbados remained unbroken. The process of composing her first song was not just an act of creation, it was a journey of self-discovery. Wendy realized that her music was a powerful tool, a means to express what words alone could not. It was her way of connecting with others, of sharing her story, and of inspiring those who dared to dream. As night descended, Wendy continued to play, her song now a full-fledged composition. She felt a sense of accomplishment, a feeling of having captured something truly special. This song, her first creation, was more than just a melody. It was a part of her, a testament to her talent and her deep connection to her roots. The completion of her first song marked a turning point in Wendy's life. It was the moment she realized that her music had the power to transcend the boundaries of her island. Her aspirations, once confined to the dreams of a young girl, now seemed within reach. The song was a stepping stone, the first of many, on a path that would lead her to unimaginable heights. As Wendy packed up her guitar and walked back to her home under the starlit sky, she knew that her life was about to change. Her first song was not just the end product of her creativity, it was the beginning of an extraordinary journey, a journey that would see her leaving the shores of Barbados and taking her place on the global stage. In this journey, Wendy would not only find success and fame, but would also become a beacon of hope and inspiration, a symbol of the magic that lies within every dreamer.